You said yeah.
I mean,
Oh my gosh, the Bun is like the last person I want to hear
the other
from.
thing
Yeah,
too
you
is,
tell
the other
him,
thing too
bud.
is-
like,
the other thing too is
you
is it
told me I have been like rude and stuff.
Okay, wait, please, just don't further
the other thing too
engage
is
it or
that
heighten
Joe has
it.
been.
It's sorry.
No, finish.
I'm just saying, it's.
Yuri's been pissed off about something or other all afternoon. So, or not Yuri. Sorry, Joe.
Joe. Yeah.
Joe has been pretty salty all afternoon.
He's been salty for like the past week. I don't know what the fuck is wrong.
Yeah, he's had less and less patience with different people, and he's been more and more vocal about it. I don't know. Maybe he just needs a big fucking break from the place. You know?
Now. Let's not get too hasty.
What?
Yeah.
These people don't fucking come here to amuse you, Sweet Pea. They're human beings,
What?
and maybe
Since
maybe
when?
he does need a fucking break from the place.
Yeah. Of all people that should be talking right now, the vampire is not one of them.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
It's starting again.
Ah, shit.
No,
Fasten in, boys.
it's not starting. No, it's not starting again. It's a fucking fact.
Ah, shit.
It really is. Especially in regards to anything with Yuri. She just needs to back the fuck up and shut up.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, who?
Why do we always have to explain everything after the fact to Bun?
Because I don't know anything.
Well, then pay attention then!
Fucking hell. I mean, Bun, in fairness, if you don't know what's going on, if you can't follow the conversation, like, I bet if you're just wait a while, I bet you'll catch on. Like, it's
No,
not.
if it refers to somebody, vampire.
That's why you listen. Yeah, okay, whatever little cutesy squeaky noise you want to make.
Oh, fuck you, Char.
Oh, God.
I sniffed another fucking server split.
Alright, guys, we're live. Just keep it clean, boys.
Did you guys really rage quit Overwatch though?
Yeah. I don't play with people who play with controllers. That's just not.
Yeah. Totally the reason why we lost.
Well, I don't know. Is Pogan still here? Because I've got some disappointing news for him.
Uh-oh.
I don't think I said anything about the reason why we lost. I just said.
Is Pogan still here?
Just the controller.
Well, Tom, you did. I mean, with respect, you did say, "I'm not playing with you guys anymore." You put direct emphasis on the you.
You guys?
Yeah.
Pogan, you can't be heard. If you're talking, Pogan, we can't hear you.
Keep it that way.
Oh fuck! I did not say that. Let the record show.
Just kidding. Yo, Yuri, can you hear me?
Is that Helena? Is Helena here?
Keep it that.
Yeah, what's up, Pogan? Yeah, what's up?
Oh fuck! I did not.
I guess I disconnected or something. What I was trying to say was, I don't think you should have interpreted that comment as hostile. Like, it just seemed like he was messing. Because, like, it seems like the comment that set you off was something like, "Yeah, you're out of the game. You weren't even a part of something."
A conversation.
Yeah, sure, but that's just like a snide comment. I mean, we do that to each other all the time. It doesn't seem like he was trying to be malicious towards you or anything.
I mean, in a particular way, right? Like, it's not particularly pointed.
Right. Like, he didn't say it. His objective in saying it was not to, spite you specifically.
I probably was too jumpy or hostile.
I think you overreacted, yeah.
I know you guys are probably going to say yes, but have you guys, like, has this been, like, have I always been this way to a certain degree?
Yuri, you're lagging.
Like,
Your mic is lagging.
You're roboting, Yuri.
Your mic is lagging. Also, Pogan, get on Overwatch.
I will later.
Man.
Yuri, if we were able to get Joe in here, would you be willing to apologize?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I should apologize. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Oh, come on, Gus. You have a fucking actual, like, exception to that?
Yeah, I do, because fucking Joe's been acting like a baby all fucking day.
Thing against Joe right now.
He
So
could
he wanted to
be acting. Hold on. He could be acting like a baby, right? But that's beside the point. If
you don't, when people say, listen, when people say either he goes or I go, you don't fucking reward that.
But if Yuri feels that his behavior was especially exceptional
because
because
Hogan
of that,
just told him so. because Pogan just told him so, and Yuri really wants to be liked. Not to talk about you like you're not even in the room, Yuri, but you really want to be liked. And Pogan, who Yuri respects, just told him that he was doing something wrong. And the room's a little bit down on him because Joe is OG and Yuri's not. Whereas Joe is just being fucking salty.
Accurate.
He's been salty all fucking week, as a matter of fact.
That's not how I feel.
I don't.
Well, I'm sorry, but I know Joe. I've known Joe for a long time. See, a lot of you guys, Jesus.
That's your opinion.
It may very well be.
Here comes the boomer
I've known Joe for a long fucking
so that's
time.
why
Okay?
she wants me to do that.
And he's fucking salty. He's been salty the whole week.
Yeah, but that
It's
would
not
be
the fact that you guys got
no,
into it.
hold on. Look, we can agree that Joe very frequently overreacts to being overtalked and mistreated, right? But it doesn't change the fact that Yuri seems to agree that his behavior was unnecessarily obnoxious, that he overreacted and said regrettable things to Sansi.
Yuri is prone to self-doubt. He often does this. He often does stuff
Well, how
that
am
he
I
believes
supposed to
that he was
differentiate
right with,
between
and then he
Yuri-
gets
look,
and then he gets pushed back later on by the fucking opinion of the room. The opinion of the room isn't necessarily correct.
Sure.
Why does Joe get to hold the whole fucking room hostage to what he wants?
Let me just ask you a quick question.
No, answer
Yuri
that question first, Pogan.
I don't think he does.
Well, then, as far as I'm concerned, where else does the conversation go? But we really like him more. We really like Joe more than
I was
Yuri.
going to ask you
That's
a
basically
question.
what this is all. That's what this is all fucking formed on.
Gus, I don't disagree. I just wanted to ask a question, right? When Yuri says, "Yeah, I should apologize," or he expresses regret, how am I supposed to differentiate between Yuri being genuinely remorseful and Yuri just saying that because he wants to impress me or whatever you?
When no one has said anything to him first, he's more likely to be genuine when he expresses it. Is it? The other thing too is that often his default fucking setting is to be sorry later on. But I don't think necessarily that comes from a place that's best for his. I mean, I don't want to go too fucking deep into his psychology, but he's the kind of guy that's very sensitive to whether or not other people like him. Okay,
I agree.
and that affects a lot of what he's. Again, Yuri, not to talk about you like you're not in the room, but still, and I think the room rose up against him because deep down inside, fucking Joe is OG and most people like Joe and fucking everybody likes Joe. What's not to like about Joe? Except for the last little while, he's been fucking overly bitchy. I don't give a fuck if Ellie has seen it, and I care less fucking vehemently, Pogan, if you've seen it, but I have. Because I've got fucking years of his behavior to compare it to.
Sure.
I'd like to address one thing while Yuri and Molly are both in the room here. I don't want the rumor going around that I egged Yuri on while he was
did.
like
You did.
suicidal.
And I will
So
show
if
it.
Yuri
Yeah,
can
yeah.
just confirm that I didn't do that, that would
Hold
be
me,
great.
Pogan.
You did.
While Molly's here.
Yeah,
Hold
you
on a
did.
second.
And she needs to
With
admit
other
this, yes, she
witnesses
did.
who are also there.
Molly, I was here. Ellie, Layla told us all to listen to Yuri and not to mute him. And
Not
to be
that
patient.
time. I'm not talking about that time.
Okay, then if it was in the past, maybe she learned from her mistakes. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I was referring to. And
Oh,
she
in the
came
past
into-
when Josh made the suicide joke, I said, "Can Yuri's friend please contact him?"
No. It was when the first time when Yuri came in and he was upset and having a go at everyone in the server. And I was saying, this isn't funny. It's not a joke. And you were laughing and you said in chat, what's wrong with Yuri? And then
That's
it
not
escalated.
egging
And
him
shut
on.
up. I'm not finished. And right below you said, yeah, Yuri, you go get him.
Yeah, Yuri, look, I don't mean to talk about you as if you're not here, so I'll just ask you directly. Do you genuinely feel remorseful for your actions, or do you feel like you'll lose some social currency if you don't apologize?
That's interesting how bluntly you put that. Well, I guess I do feel like I need to apologize, but I don't feel like apologizing right now. But that could be due to like me being still kind of pissed off. When you're kind of pissed off, you're not really inclined to like readily apologize, right? But like I like Joe and I respect Joe because he's been with us for a while and he's in like in Havehaven and stuff like that with us. So like I'm friends with Joe, right? Just that I got pissed off because Joe, like Gus has said, has been like, I don't want to say he's been especially bitchy towards me, but he's been bitchy to like a lot of people for the past like week or two, right? So I think that's why I got pissed off with him. But yeah,
Well,
I think,
it's understandable. I mean,
sorry,
Look, I'm not gonna make excuses for the guy, but I am privy to certain information about maybe Joe's mental state. I do know that he was just in or recently in a game of Overwatch with someone playing with a controller, and that person.
Oh my fucking god! Really?
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that that's an excuse. I'm just saying that you can put yourself in like his shoes for a second, and you can understand his state of mind. Now, if it were me, I would have probably, acted out even worse.
Oh my god.
Look, I'm just
to finish up Pogan, what I was saying to Pogan real quick. Yeah, I'm not going to apologize to him right now, but yeah, I definitely feel in the future that I'm going to genuinely feel remorseful to apologize.
No, I
think
have
it's gonna
to.
be the right.
Yeah, I gotcha. I have to make a confession. I like Hannah quite a bit, so I held my tongue. When I heard she was using a controller, there was just like a flash of rage that I had to restrain myself.
Right.
We have seen
I've got
flashes
some
of
bad
rage.
news for you then, Kogan.
Oh no, Gus is also using a controller. Is that the hint?
Because of the way things are set up here, my mouse just wouldn't do the job properly.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think the avoid list is up to 3 people, so that's.
The worst part about that
like,
match was that I, in recon mode as Bastion, got like 25 eliminations.
Dude, it's Bastion.
In recon mode.
So it's Bastion.
Not in any of the games we played.
I mean, I was trying. It's just like we kept getting come from behind, so I was just like, "Fuck, man!" Every time I'm getting fucking tagged from the front and from the back. So
I wonder what explains you not being able to turn around very quickly.
my you don't understand. My sensitivity is on really high because I'm used to playing FPSs on the PC. I just didn't learn Overwatch on the PC.
It's almost
That's
like
gonna be the
your
next
character
thing
wasn't
on my
even
to-do
really
list.
able
It
to.
just, but that's worse because
It's
now
so
it's like completely irrational for you to have used a.
I've started playing Overwatch on a PS4, and I'm like so unused to like how the abilities translate on the keyboard. I just have to get used to it.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I just want to unlock
The
repetitive
ability
play.
is like looking around quickly.
Oh my god, there was not an issue.
I was just trying.
Special ability is like looking behind
play,
you.
bro. Oh my god.
It wasn't an issue. Yet
You did not know I had that was a thing because
You're trash, Hannah. Nobody wants to play with you.
Clearly.
You're a raging bundle of trash.
Says Layla.
The play of Layla, not Layla.
The play of Layla.
To play Overwatch, and to play any game on a controller, I find to be a skill because the only games I can play on a controller are like racing games. I haven't played racing games in like fucking forever.
Look, so
I don't
somebody
know,
wants to message Mark Thomas. He says like he wanted me to like go help him.
Fighting games are good on a controller.
Oh yeah, fighting games are fun.
Yeah, Mark Thomas.
Fighting games.
Yeah. Okay. So Mark wanted me to go help him in another room about his mic, his settings or some bullshit. If someone wants to add him and help him with that, I can't be bothered.
I'll do it.
I can't do it.
Good guy, Pogan.
You guys are gonna play Overwatch with Mark Thomas?
No, nobody's
Oh
playing
my
Overwatch
God.
with Mark Thomas. Oh, but I do want him to play Ark with Declan, and I want to watch that. Definitely want to watch that.
I could just see him.
Let me tell you something. There is no way you're gonna get me to invite him into my guild.
Hey,
no fucking way.
No, he doesn't have to be part of your guild. I just want to see him be like a neighbor and like watch the interaction.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
I don't know.
I'll do it.
I don't know if you did this recently, but he's no chatted, so he can't reply to us.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Just DM. DM.
Okay.
Who is Mark
I'll
Thomas?
do it.
I'll tell you.
Oh my
I'll no
goodness,
chat
is
him.
Ix that new?
I'll unknown chat.
He's a Jehovah's Witness from Ireland originally, and he's infamous for never answering a direct question directly. And
Oh my god.
he also lives on Slim Jims.
Okay.
If Mark started playing Overwatch, he would learn masturbate. If he hasn't already.
The second thing is that my channel was remonetized. So
You cut out.
my channel was remonetized.
Yay!
Yes.
Wow.
So super chats are back.
Screw it up.
So my original dream was to have Bun be the reader of all super chats. Hopefully that can happen now.
You know who you sound like or similar to?
I don't want to know.
Lily Pichu.
Of course, I get to know.
Yeah.
Lily Pichu's a cute girl, though, so you shouldn't mind that.
Donkey's girlfriend, a little.
I didn't hear a goddamn thing you just said, Bon.
Yeah, that's the meaning of it.
Yeah,
She
my
just said
sensitivity's
something
at
in
75.
Swedish.
What the fuck?
Mark
That was
Thomas
not
is
very
in.
nice.
Wait, pause. Mark Thomas is in voice chat. Mark, I sent you a DM. I can help you with your mic if you need. Looks like you're on mobile, so give me a message.
Do you think he'll be interested in playing Ark, Tom?
I know that he liked playing the game. I don't know. I mean, he stopped though because there were certain activities that he deemed to be like unchristlike.
Jesus says I'm not supposed to. Jesus says I'm not supposed to use dinosaur heads to knock down rock.
Yeah, I'm playing on a PvE server, so that shouldn't be a problem for him.
He might not have liked the naked thing, like the naked women and like men in the game.
The women and men are not naked in this game.
Oh really? Oh, I'm thinking of Rust. My bad.
Yeah, Rust is naked people everywhere.
Yeah. Bon, we really gotta start. When I get my PC fixed and everything, we gotta start playing over.
No, I just get killed by 12-year-olds.
Oh no, I can get you to like a platinum.
Yeah, then I'm gonna get killed by good 12-year-olds.
He's saying the app won't load and he can't hear anything using the browser. So he's gonna. I told him to reinstall. What the fuck was that?
Sorry. I'm Doomfist.
Well, he has to hand crank his computer, so.
Wait, did you
He's
say
gonna
that?
hang crank his computer. No, Doomfist scared the shit out of me.
Oh, I thought you said I am fisting.
No, I got fisted though, if that makes sense.
Whoa!
Doomfist! Stop it!
Well, you can't say you got fisted and expect me not to think that you got a gaping hole now.
I mean, I said Doomfist prior to making the fisted comment, so I thought the context was appropriate.
Probably not a coincidence that JJ just muted.
I can tell JJ has a fist around something.
Yes.
More like 3 fingers.
Mark Thomas at 3:16 p.m. Eastern Standard said, and I'm quoting, "BRB."
That's fascinating, Kogan.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kogan.
Hey, what happened with the JJ thing where he was where Tom, you were going to float him a new device?
Well,
He came through.
JJ backed out.
I don't understand what's happening.
That's unfortunate.
We're waiting for Mark to fix his.
Man, we need some divine. Man, when's the last time you like went into like a server and we like talked to some Ensomians? Man, dude, man, I got like, cause I've like been. Yeah, no, because Pogan, I've been like preparing so hard to talk to people who believe omnipotence just means to actualize any potential. I want to talk to
And
one of those.
Ensellian, what is that, like a fucking Klingon?
No, and so I'm talking about Versatilians, my bad. And Anselmians are a thing, they saw those St. Anselm.
Yeah, do you just run the McGear?
No. Oh, I don't run the McGear, but what I do is that there's if they say that God can actualize any potential, right? You run the modal collapse objection, right? Because if God can actualize any potential, right, then that means there can only be like one state of affairs in which God can actualize, right? Because God can't actualize like contradicting things that like contradict each other, right? Like God can't actualize competing desires, right? So if I had the competing desire to like if I had the desire to like drink a cup of coffee, right? So that means I had to go up to the vending machine and get that cup of coffee, right? Or I have the desire to also, be lazy and sit in my chair, right? One of those desires is going to win out, right?
Right.
And so God couldn't actualize both of those desires because they would fall into a contradiction.
Maybe he's
Molly,
Whoa!
no, Molly, come on.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry. I absolutely thought
Jesus
I muted.
Christ.
I apologize.
Jesus,
So sorry.
man, we were in a philosophical dialogue.
Somebody mute.
I saw.
Molly, please!
Oof.
Where's that clip when you need it?
But I think Jack has an even more powerful objection, right? And I was also reading a paper by this guy. Speaking of modal collapse, I was reading this paper by this guy, right, who has an objection to Leibniz's cosmological argument, right? And it's different than Jack's. I don't understand this argument though. I can give you the paper. It's really short. It's like 2 pages, man. But I never understood it, right? But it seemed like Jack's refutation of the LCA was a lot better, right? Because you can just show how the PSR, right, just results in modal collapse.
Look, Yuri,
Right.
I'm gonna level with you here. My interest in philosophy has been waning. I can't guarantee that I'm gonna read things.
Yeah,
you
tell me
said.
about it.
2 pages. It's 2 pages.
Yeah. Sure, send it.
Hogan, man.
Fascinating. It's going
Yeah,
to
I
talk
feel
about math and
definitely feel the same.
Yes, Tom.
Definitely feel the same way, man.
Yeah.
all you guys are saying to me right now is that logic is like dying. You guys don't like being rational. That's all.
No, I'm saying that the topic doesn't interest me because I'm beginning to find it boring.
Why? Well, like this.
Because these conversations are always the same.
It's not philosophy's fault. It's the people who are around.
But that's still an explanation for why I would lack motivation, right?
See, you're engaging in philosophy right now. So obviously, isn't boring.
My fucking god.
Yuri, you have to understand that. I mean, Pogan wasn't around during Google Hangout days, but a lot of us have been through this like years and years ago. It's been nothing but nonstop philosophizing for fucking 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, like I've been making friends, I've been righting my wrongs, I've been engaging in activities that don't involve philosophy, like playing video games with the community. It's just like, I mean, if somebody comes in and says something clearly fucking stupid, sure, I'll interrogate them, but I don't want to go through with the fucking proof of God being illogical for the 90th time.
Are we gonna get Mark Thomas or not?
Look, Mark Thomas is experiencing technical difficulties. He's working on it.
God damn.
Last thing I heard was BRB, so we'll see.
I sent you the paper, man. It's basically, from what I remember, it's just talking about how there can't be a set of all truths. And basically what this guy does is that he tries to show how there can't be a set of all truths by doing like some eliminations of type. He like has graphs and stuff like that inside. I didn't understand what he was talking about. It seemed like overly, and I don't think I necessarily agree because I don't know what it means to deny that there can't be a set of all truths, you know? So intuitively, on the surface, it seemed like what? And then when I asked Vic to talk about it, it seemed like Vic just gave me like troll answers. So I took those with like a grain of salt.
Is this just saying that there can't be a set of all truths?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
And somehow-
that's been talked about ad nauseum in here. Like just the power set idea. Yeah,
Are you
that's.
talking about the causal powers?
I mean, like, no.
I don't remember us talking about.
Huh?
Well, when people complain, I make weird noises.
Well, can you give me like just like a 1-sentence summary or like a brief summary, real quick, of what's being discussed when they say they're so?
Yeah, anytime there's a set, there's gonna be a power set that includes that set, so there can't be a set of all.
What's a power set? That's the last question.
It's a set that contains other sets, I assume.
Gotcha. Okay. But how does that correlate to the LCA's PSR, right? Because the LCA's PSR is all it's
Wait,
saying.
I have an update. Mark is currently re-downloading Discord. He should be with us shortly.
Excellent.
Hogan, you wrote a paper on the PSR before the LCA, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that you wrote a paper on the LCA.
By wrote a paper, he just means like I typed some thoughts into a Google Doc. I didn't publish it or anything.
Right. I got to take a look at that. I heard Vic like told me that it was a really good paper to read when they sent it to me, but I never got a chance to. I think I was interested in other philosophical things at the time. But yeah, it's just kind of weird to say. I wonder how that view, right, falsifies or like shows, or not falsifies, but yeah, I guess falsify. Yeah, how it falsifies the the PSA, the PSR of the LCA, right? Because all the PSR of the LCA is that they're all contingent facts have an explanation, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess if there's going to be truths, I guess. When he's, I got to think about this. Sorry.
What are you apologizing for? What?
No, because I feel like I should get this because I this sounds familiar, but it sounds like I haven't been paying it, and so I'm kind of upset with myself because I should
Could you
understand.
send us your paper, Pogan?
If I can fucking find it, yeah.
You sent it to me a long
it
time ago. Yeah, so my understanding is that the BCCF is posited to be something other than a set, like a collection, or I forget what they call, like a class or something, to get around the whole like set theory problem. And that the modal collapse is a consequence of a strong PSR and what I guess I can't remember the difference between what's his face and Pruss's version of it. Emilio, I forget what the second guy's name. Ramello? Does that ring a bell?
No.
Anyway, there's two writers who they put up as being good modern formulations of the PSR, defenders of it, and both of them start out with like admitting that it's totally discredited in philosophy, but then trying to resuscitate it anyway. Pruss is the strongest, and what Pruss does is try to limit the PSR and come up with a limited PSR that still works for the cosmological. Well, I don't know if he explicitly says it could work for the cosmological argument. I can't remember. But he basically tries to pare it down so it doesn't have a modal collapse problem.
Do you still want that paper?
Yeah.
Oh, sugar is poisonous here?
Wait, hold on. Before we get to sugar's poison, real quick. Sorry, Tom. Jacker.
There's a link in general.
Yeah.
Can you explain? I have two things, just real quick. I want you to explain, and show how they're correlated. There can't be a set. There's no set of all truths. And also, can you run first? Because we were talking about this. How the LCA's PSR leads to modal. Because I know we've talked about this before, but I just want to make sure I got it down.
Well, those are antithetical.
That's what. What do you mean?
Well, the claim that there can't be a BCCF because of the power set of the set of all contingent facts is supposed to be an objection to the idea that the PSR entails modal collapse.
And now, what's your argument for why the PSR entails modal collapse?
The basic idea is that if if a contingent truth is explained by some necessary fact, that necessary fact holds in all possible worlds and therefore would explain the contingent truth in all possible worlds, and so therefore the contingent truth would be a necessary fact. So if the strong PSR holds, there are no contingent facts.
Pogan, did you, or did he cut out?
Sorry, I was saying that the
Oh shit, he cut out again.
You cut out again.
I was saying that if necessary facts necessitate the contingent facts that they're supposed to explain, and those necessary facts hold in every possible world, that means that they explain those contingent facts in every possible world, which means those contingent facts are in fact necessary. So if the strong PSR holds, there are no contingent facts.
Interesting. And so if there are no contingent facts, wait, hold on. Wait, so the PSR, so the PSR, the LCS PSR is that all facts, contingent facts have an explanation, but if the PSR holds, then that means I still don't see how that would get you to modal collapse though, because it doesn't seem like the modal
Total
collapse
collapse is the view that
that there's one possible world.
Yeah, so if all facts are necessary, that means there's only one possible world.
Oh, but I guess that's why I was getting confused. I thought necessary means that those facts would be true in like all possible worlds, right? Not just.
Yeah, but if the same facts are true in all possible worlds, there's only one possible world.
Oh shit! Oh,
Jesus Christ!
It's not like all possible worlds that all look the same.
Right. I just wanted to say
that was badass. So I didn't even I forgot about that rule because like that makes sense because like if all that's right. So something is necessary in all possible worlds, right? Wait a second. How does an R view hold to why does an R view lead us to modal collapse?
Because I don't hold to the PSR.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but don't we believe that like things like mathematical truths and like epistemic norms like are necessary in like all?
Yeah, but that
Why doesn't the hive mind hold to that view?
That doesn't mean that the PSR holds.
Right, because I guess we're not saying that all. Yeah, I see. Okay, I gotcha. Thanks, Jack, for explaining that.
Jack, do you find Bun's voice to be sexy?
Incredibly.
Oh my god.
See, I'm super sexy. Hey.
You find her voice to be sexy?
I can't
Incredibly.
seriously.
It's like a live anime girl.
Pretty much.
I am amazing. No, I just wanted to say that make sure to donate in Super Chat because I want to interrupt people. And blame it on something good.
That's so cool. Man.
You were saying?
Sugar is poison, man. Like, are you there? Because I heard a lot of shit about this one.
Oh, he was awful.
What?
Yeah, you heard.
Yeah, can someone catch me up on what happened this morning?
He made Landon cry.
What? I didn't make Landon cry at all.
Sugar?
Jesus. Landon was laughing and talking about how he destroyed me in a debate.
No.
Landon spent the next 20 minutes going, I destroyed Sugar in a debate. I destroyed him. He was happy. I made him happy. I made his whole morning. Tom, I'm not the big bully of the server. You know that.
You sent Landon into a manic episode.
Yeah,
he was happy. He was literally happy afterwards.
You're
He
fucking
was literally
lying.
screaming at you.
He was literally for 20 minutes gloating about how he destroyed me in a debate. After I left, I could hear him. He was going,
screaming at you moron.
He literally said it's the greatest debate performance he's ever had in his life. He was going. He goes.
Why were you talking about his medication?
He knows damn well I want him to quit smoking cigarettes out of love. I want him to stop smoking.
Why did you talk about his medication?
No, Landon was going over the reasons why he's on his medication, and Sugar was just completely ignoring all of Landon's issues and just berating him about not taking his medications, stop smoking, stop getting blizzards. And then it went into this whole thing about Landon's depressed because he eats blizzards and fat. And then Landon started actually choking up. And Sugar was completely cold-hearted, didn't even give a fuck.
I love Landon more than any of you guys love Landon.
No, that's quite interesting. You know,
No.
when I came on, I had several DMs from people stating what had happened. And I told you before, it's just like the other night when you were talking about a subject that had nothing to do with your bullshit. I left you alone. But you come in here and you start giving advice and talking about medications. So I'm gonna fuck with you, and I'm done with it.
Yes,
Sugar,
we know
you're just
Molly.
Well, I mean, the recollection of the story hasn't been very precise.
I'm not the big bad bully of the server. And
I mean,
anyone that's
okay,
trying
all
to
right.
be-
If it was merely you telling
Gentle
Landon,
boy.
if it was merely you telling Landon that it's not healthy to eat Big Macs and Blizzards, then that's probably okay. But it seems like there was more to it.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah. What?
Well, I was there
There's
for the
way
whole
more
incident.
than
And the person that was talking earlier actually misrepresented it quite substantially. What had happened, and
Ray
I'm not in
knows
debate,
more
I'm
about
not in
this than
debate mode
Shane.
here. Not in debate. What's that?
You came in at the tail end. Ray actually knows
It's
more
not
about
true.
this.
It's true. I happen to have listened to you guys all fucking day at work today. So don't
Yeah,
tell me I
and you
came in at the
came
tail end of
in.
it.
You
I
came
was
in
there for
playing
the whole entire
contrarian
thing.
for.
Look, I'll even
You
prove
did
to
the
you
whole
that
contrarian.
I was there the whole entire thing, and I'll tell you what happened. So basically, Sugar had told Landon to stop smoking, and then Landon retorted that his therapist said that it would be best if he not quit smoking immediately. That kind of wean himself off because it was actually helping deal with some of his anxiety, help calming his anxiety. And then Sugar replied, which I think is not outrageous. He just replied, "Look, if your provider is telling you to keep smoking cigarettes, then you need to get a new provider." And then all
No,
hell
that's
broke
not
loose.
true.
But it was,
That's not true.
but that's not true. That's not true. That's what was said.
No, that's not true that a provider will tell you to quit smoking, because I've had patients that are dealing with a lot of stress, anxiety, and stuff like that, and they will actually tell them, I know that we're working on you getting ready to quit. If you could just, minimize the smoking and whatnot. But yeah, they will tell patients the last thing you need to do right now is stop smoking.
He never told Landon to not take any of his medication.
That's false.
Not true. He said that multiple times.
Seamus, he always tells people, he has told every person on here that he knows takes medication to stop the medication. So why would that be any different? You're telling me he turned a new leaf? That would be a lie.
But he's not a medical
Jesus
professional,
Christ.
is he?
You can say
What would you-
anything in the server. You can say anything. But if you say one little thing about your guys' precious medication.
It's not one little thing, you fucking idiot.
Everybody freaks out.
Because you're stupid.
It's like the scene in Batman where the Joker is talking to Harvey Dent, and he's like, Harvey, I'm not doing anything wrong, but if you just threaten one little mayor, everyone freaks out and loses their heads. You
So are
guys
you
are
just
so weird.
suggesting you gotta get a second opinion?
You guys literally get freaked out about nothing. Like, people say the most crazy shit in here, the most intense ass shit about women being slaves.
You know what? No, because this issue has been, no, that's not true. Because I've had issue with this. You
Robot.
have made this your
Robot Mary Jane.
platform
Robot.
to treat people like shit because they're on medication. Tell them you need to stop your medication. That's been my issue with you, Sugar, and you still do it.
People say the craziest shit in here about all kinds of shit, but if you say one little thing about medication, everybody
It sounds like
loses
you've got a
their mind.
superiority complex when it comes
This
to
right
health.
here is
What is
Tom.
that?
I'm telling you, this shit that he's doing about telling people, oh, stop taking your medication, be healthy, be like me. It's fucking not gonna work.
I'm gonna get out ahead of this. I won't talk about any more health stuff. How about that?
Just wait till Sugar gets a bit sick and see how he handles it.
Isn't it nice to have a safe place you can come and just spout whatever stupid shit comes into your stupid head?
It's what people do all day long. What the fuck?
Stop giving people medical advice. You're not a doctor, you idiot.
Yes, I've grown tired of trying to give you guys medical advice, so I will stop.
Good. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
A really healthy smoothie.
What was in it?
Blueberries and cashews and peanut butter and almond milk and something else, but I forget. Oh, ice and yeah. Oh, kale and spinach.
Really healthy.
That does actually
Yeah,
sound pretty good, though. I would say it's healthy, but I think it's like
very
I don't know. It sounds good. I've had smoothies like that before. My mom is into that type of stuff that Sugar's in, so I'm used to it. It's amazing how people get caught up in that bullshit, man. It's insane.
What bullshit, Yuri?
You going robot, MJ?
Yeah, you're roboting.
Fuck.
Going Mr. Roboto?
Hey, Yuri, PM me a little bit later. I have something I want to propose to you.
Okay, sure.
What it got.
Hey, I
Mark,
need somebody with the inside knowledge that you have on the JWs.
Mark Thomas, I see that you have unmuted. Will somebody mute that bitch?
Sorry, calm down. Quit fucking yelling at
No,
me.
I was talking about the dog.
Oh, that's a boy.
Oh, sorry.
Mark, are you there, bro? Mark, are you there?
I think Mark Thomas would stand on principle and has more character than any person in this fucking room.
That's definitely false.
Even
Now
me,
you're
Shane?
just in debate mode.
No, I'm not. I really, really think he would. What, you don't think he's been standing on this principle of this ludicrous JW stuff at the cost of his family and everything? Pretty fucking hardcore, Tom. What kind of proof do you have?
I didn't know what principle you were talking about.
Oh, what did you think I was saying?
I thought you were just saying that he was like principled and like has more integrity, but I don't think he really has integrity. I mean, he lies all the time.
Yeah, but Mark Thomas lies like don't even really count. They're like stupid.
Oh,
They're
but
like,
well, that's not much of a principle though, right? If he's violating it.
No true Scotsman.
Jehovah's Witnesses aren't supposed to lie, so Mark Thomas shouldn't be even saying stupid shit or stupid.
yeah, but it's not like if we had like a demonstration of like 100 times that Tom thinks that Mark Thomas lied and we played them all and listened to them back to back, it would be some of the most frivolous bullshit you ever heard in your life.
Right, which is why it's really stupid to violate something that's sacred to God over some frivolous bullshit, huh?
It's pretty hardcore. Like if you watch the JW, like the JW propaganda, they really are like serious about lies, like even stupid lies. Like Caleb on one of those cartoons accidentally knocks over a plant with like his plane, right? And he says some bullshit, and then they open the Bible and like start breaking down why that wasn't acceptable. So in the Jehovah's Witness religion, there's like no excuse for that shit.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you know, Yuri, how the Jehovah's Witnesses would reply to the standard, you're hiding Jews in the basement, Nazi SS officer knocks on the door and says, "Are you hiding Jews in your basement?" What do they say?
Now that's actually a really good question, Shamos, because they give like some weird bullshit response about deserving to hear the truth, and they give some account in the Bible and when Jesus and God have to do stuff like that. So either what the Jehovah's Witnesses would do, they would either lie, right, by giving like some vague answer, or they just wouldn't answer them at all. That's how they would do it, and they would justify it by saying those people weren't deserving to hear the truth. It's
Mark
quite
Thomas
bizarre.
said he would tell the truth, but he trusts that God will keep him safe.
Well, that's one of the things he said.
You can't lie, but you're equating like tons of people getting gassed out and killed by Nazis over like, oh, Mark, did you move to? Are you in America now? And now he posts a picture of his outlet, and it's like some outlet from like Ireland or some nonsense. Dude. That's like dumb shit. You're not supposed to lie about. You can't. There's kind of a line though, even though it may be a stupid line. There's a line. You can't.
Look, we've heard that he moved back to Ireland. He said that he didn't move back to Ireland. He lies all the time. Constantly. Dude, we've had like a hours long discussion with him just trying to get an answer about the Nazi thing. And he usually employs the tactic that Yuri is describing.
I mean, he'll spend about 45 minutes of just like asking you questions about what goodness is or something. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I know.
Right.
Oh, Shamos? Oh, Mark, you're lighting up. We can hear you, bro.
Well, I didn't hear anything.
He was lighting up. I heard like scuffling around. And he lit up. Mark,
Yeah,
are you
but
there?
you can tell
Yeah,
the
I'm here. I
Nazis
just
the truth.
echoed. There we go. Yeah, you're loud and clear. There we go.
Yeah, you can tell the Nazis the truth. You still need to lie about anything.
Well, so how would you answer?
You would tell them that they don't need to take the Jews away, and they could go around and share that good news with other people.
You didn't answer the question though.
But it's still the truth.
You didn't answer the question.
Yeah, but what
though.
if the Nazi SS officer insists that he wants his question answered?
Yeah, well, then he's just deceiving himself. And I can't do anything about that.
Do you think your actions in that situation would lead to the deaths of the Jews?
I don't think my actions could resurrect the Jews, but I do believe that someone has the power to do that.
That's not even what I asked you.
Well, you know, I'm just saying I don't think I have the power to save any other human life.
I couldn't hear the last part of that. You were talked over.
I said I don't think I have the power to resurrect any human. Like I don't.
I didn't ask, but I didn't ask you about resurrection. All I was curious about was whether or not you think your actions would cause the Jews to be killed by the Nazis.
Oh, remember when Pogan tried to debate Mark Thomas, but he rage quit it? I remember that. Pogan, that was like, oh my gosh, this is like a classic being replayed.
Yeah.
Well, the well was poisoned because they said, oh, like Mark Thomas is gonna
Did Mark Thomas wreck Pogan?
Well, this is exactly how the well was poisoned. So Pogan just wasn't really sure what was going on, so he just disengaged just to be safe. But I mean,
yeah, Pogan disengages a lot.
I don't think there's
Isn't
a
that kind of
reason.
weird?
I don't think there's a reason to get angry with him. I'm just wanting the question to be answered.
Right.
I don't know how telling the Nazis to make the Jews, you know, a nice breakfast would cause them to kill the Jews. That doesn't make any sense to me.
That wasn't.
No,
Nobody
hold
mentioned
on.
that.
Can I try? I'm going to try approaching it. Hold on.
all
Mark,
right, you can try, but I mean, this is getting a little cluttered now. I mean, just
Right. I'm going to simplify. I'm going to take it way back to the beginning. Okay, so Mark. So the hypothetical goes like this: you're at the door, right? And this SS, this Nazi you're protecting Jehovah's Witnesses and Jews in your basement, right? And it's supposed to be a secret, but somehow the secret gets out to the Nazis, right? And so the SS officer, right, who's the top Nazi, right, like a general, like knocks on your door, right? And he asks you and interrogates you about, do you have Jews in your basement, right? Do you have Jews and Jehovah's Witnesses in your basement, right? What is your response, right? And he has the boys are in the back with the Gewehr 43s ready to take him out. What are you going to do?
Very specific.
Yeah, is he going to
no,
believe
no wolf, no wolf king, please, no God, no, God, no.
Yeah.
Tom, ever so loving.
No, dude, come on.
What's the answer, Mark? What are
Yeah,
you going to
did
do?
we
They're
play-
right there. He's getting angry. He's pulling out the C-43. What are you going to do?
How the fuck does he know these gun models? Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
It's actually
Yeah,
a
if
Gewehr
he-
44.
Yeah, before
Is he going to believe?
Oh my God.
Is he going to believe what I tell him?
It's up to you. This is you. You got to think quick because they're about to kick open your door. They're getting agitated right now. Boys are jumping in the back, ready to march.
Yes, he's gonna believe whatever you say to him.
Well,
So
I
he's gonna
don't.
say
I
that
don't
you
know. You shouldn't say that.
I would
That's,
say that.
why did you say that? Nah,
You
that
guys
you just
fucking-
introduced another 20 minutes of like escape artistry because you said that.
No,
Ludwig.
look, the simple way to do this is as follows, okay? You're being asked at the door if you have enemies of the state, aka Jews, you must give a response to the SS officer. Given you have the motivation to protect the Jews because you're hiding them, right? What would you answer?
I would say you guys look hungry. Do you want to come in and we could cook you up a meal and we could have some breakfast together?
Yeah, but that wouldn't be answering the question the SS officer
Suck
asked
their
you.
penis.
Yeah, plus these SS officers
No,
have a
but-
job to do. They got 400 more doors to knock on today. They can't go in and have a pastry with you, Mark. They want to know where the fucking Jews are.
Come have a freshly cooked bagel.
Here, let's just stipulate that you must directly respond to the question.
Yeah, no, I would ask the Nazis if they would like to spend some time with their families.
That's not a response to the question.
Nope.
Well, what was their question?
Are you harboring enemies of the state?
Well, what does harboring mean?
You have them in your house, yes or no?
And what makes them an enemy?
What makes
Oh my god.
What makes they're Jews? You're dealing with Nazis.
Yeah, but like, what would make a
This
Jew
is
an
real-time
enemy? Like,
cognitive dissonance. This is what it looks like.
Are you? I'm really like. Are you confused about why Nazis would want to eliminate Jews?
Oh, wait, some of you aren't used to Mark Thomas? So this is some of y'all's first time interacting with
Yeah,
him?
this is legit first time. Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
wow. I'm sorry. I thought y'all knew who he was.
Yeah,
No,
look-
he's going to keep doing this, by the way. He's going to purposely avoid answering direct questions.
Yeah. Look, that's fine. Could we just get an answer, Mark?
Let's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
observe. Let's just observe it.
Are people enemies just because of who they're born from?
It doesn't look. They're Jews, right? You're living in Nazi Germany or an occupied territory. Their job is to eliminate Jews and identify people who are harboring Jews, right? They're fugitives. Now, they're asking you if you have Jews in your house. You do have Jews in your house because you want to protect them. What is your answer to the SS officer? They don't have time to come in and eat with you. You have to answer their question.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to work out if I have Jews or not. That's why I'm asking you some
It's
questions.
stipulated that you have Jews.
Well, I mean, what is a Jew? That's what I'm asking.
Are you kidding me?
Told you.
Hold on, Pogan. I can bring this back. Hold on, Pogan. I can bring this back. Look, Mark Thomas, we want to think of you as a smart, educated Jehovah's Witness, right? Not a dumbass. So presumably you would know about World War II and the racism against Nazis and Jews, right? So we don't have to explain that to you. You understand that, right? You understand how Jews and Jehovah's Witnesses were affected in World War II by the Nazis?
Mark, my name is Colonel Hans Landa. Okay? Answer my question, or I will barge into your house and arrest you as a traitor. Do you have Jews in your house?
Let's just
steel man
this shit.
I don't know.
He's not gonna
I don't
answer.
know whether the people at the door are Jews or not.
That's irrelevant.
Let's just
look. It's a yes or
hold
no
on. I think we
question,
can get a little bit further if you let me just modify what you got going on
It's
just a
gonna
hair.
fucking. Oh my god.
So let's just see. Okay, so look, Mark Thomas. Let's say this. Let's say they ask you if you're hiding any Jews in your house, and let's say that they're not even really interested if they're Jewish or not. They just have been branded with this scarlet letter or whatever, and they distinctly have the scarlet letter brand. So they definitely are the people that they're looking for. Now let's say that they stipulate. They say, look, we're going to ask you a yes or no question. If you answer anything other than yes or no, we're going to torture your entire family. Okay? So if anything comes out of your mouth other than yes or no, your whole family's getting tortured. Okay? Now, if you lie and you say no Jews are here, they just walk away and never come back. Okay? If you say yes, there are Jews here, they take the Jews away from your house and torture them. Now, Mark, they're going to ask you, are you hiding Jews? Any other answer than yes or no will get your family tortured. What's the answer, Mark?
I need to be able to make an informed
Your whole family's
decision.
tortured.
No, their family's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
Mark, the point here is that you're in a situation where most people would say that lying, given your motivation to protect the Jews, right? It would be rational to lie, right? Now you don't.
No, I
interested.
would.
Could
I would want to give.
You guys.
I would want to
just-
give the
just tell
Nazis
him
a
what it is.
just give me.
Please
Hey,
let me interject for 1 sec.
Can I
You guys
can I
need
just
to
finish my
tell
thought?
him- Just 1 sec. You got. Okay.
There is no other response
What
you
was
can
that?
give. I don't know. Your possible responses are 1, yes, 2, no. The question is, what would be your answer and why would you answer it? Okay, so if you
In
say,
order for him to do so, you need to tell him what the outcome would be of answering yes or no.
I'm getting
You need to put that
He already knows.
I'm getting
Chamos just
there.
went through it.
No, you don't have to
I
know
can
that.
explain it again.
No
No, he
one has
doesn't.
that
That's
information.
what's
Do you think the guy
ambiguous.
that's getting his door knocked on has that
Hey,
information?
relax.
The guy that's getting his door knocked on doesn't even have that information, Ludic.
We're fucking infighting. Look, we can explain it again. If you say yes, I'm harboring enemies of the state, you would be fine, but the Jews you're hiding are going to be killed or sent to a concentration camp, most likely. If you say, no, I'm not hiding Jews, they're going to walk away and believe you. Now, you have the motivation to protect the Jews.
Important.
You have the
You
motivation to
just said
protect.
it's important to Mark.
Yeah, you have the motivation to protect the Jews. So what's your answer? There are only two possible answers.
Yeah, can I have it? Am I allowed to make an informed decision?
Oh my God.
I don't know what you mean by that. All the information has already been given to you.
It was just, what is a Jew?
Shut the. Oh my. This guy.
No, but we eliminated that. We eliminated that because they have a scarlet letter branded into them. And the question isn't what is a Jew. The question now is, what is a scarlet letter? And they clearly, distinctly have that mark on them, Mark. So they're clearly the people that are looking for. There's no dispute.
Yeah, but I would
How
ask
about this, Mark? How about they're Jehovah's?
Let him answer. Let him
and
answer.
you're
Let him
you're
answer.
an
Let him answer.
ex-Jehovah.
There's like a lot of car
So they're not after you.
Yeah, there's almost no
they're not
possible way
after-
Ludic could help here. There's almost no way you could
Ludic,
help
there's
him.
also like this lag thing. I don't know if
I
it's
just pointed out the most important aspect of it, which is to tell him what the outcomes would be of the.
that's not going to change anything for Mark.
That
for
doesn't
Mark
matter.
Thomas?
You don't know the outcomes when that situation is presented to you in real life. You don't know the outcome. So I don't see how that's fucking relevant at all. And not to mention, we already gave them the outcomes.
It
if you
is
said
for
yes,
Mark
they
to
turn
make a
away. If you said
decision as
yes,
to
they
what
kill
his
the
moral
Jews.
decision's
If
gonna
you
be.
say yes, they kill the Jews. If you say no, they turn and walk away and never come back. If you say anything else, they torture your
That's
whole family. We
important.
told them the outcomes, motherfucker. You're asking
Okay.
irrelevant questions. Shut up.
No, you didn't.
Wait, no, shut.
No,
That was already said. That was already
You
said.
didn't tell
Yeah,
him that.
Ludic,
Yeah, I'm not going
Ludic,
to spend. I'm not going to
pause.
spend any more time for you, Ludic, because you're not listening. It's your fault you haven't listened, not ours.
Look, Mark, again, you have two possible responses, okay? One is yes, I am harboring enemies of the state, in which case they're going to enter your home and they're going to take the Jews and do horrible things to them. The other option is no, I'm not harboring enemies of the state, in which case, as we stipulated, they will believe you and walk away from your house. If you say nothing or you give something that's not a yes or no answer, they kill and torture your family. Now, what is your response?
Yeah, I would appeal to the officer and say, if he was branded as a Jew, does that make him a Jew?
Yes.
Is that sound reasoning? Like, would the officer
It doesn't
agree?
matter. Look,
They're not
you're not gonna
Jews, Mark. They're Jehovah's. They're
You're not-
Jehovah's, and you're an
Hold on,
ex-Jehovah,
hold
so
on.
you know them. So you
Hold
know
on,
they're Jehovah.
Hold on. You're not going to have a fucking argument with the guy because, like we said, if you try to question him, he's going to barge in, take the Jews / Jehovah Witnesses, and kill your family. The only possible answers you can give are yes or no. Which answer do you give?
Yeah, well, if I branded him, does that make him a Jew? That's my.
It doesn't
that's my
matter.
answer.
Look, again,
If you
I'm
give
gonna.
anything
They're
besides
Jehovah's,
yes or
Mark.
no,
Forget
Guys,
Jews.
you
They're
don't need to get.
Jehovah's.
Look, you don't need
Mark.
to get angry with him. Look, again, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. You can't question him. You're not going to get an answer to that question. You must answer yes or no, or he will torture and kill your family. So what do you answer?
Yeah, so what determines my answer is whether he's going to believe me or
I would
not.
imagine your motivations. If you want to protect the Jews, you'd probably lie, right? Because we stipulated that if you do that, he'll walk away believing you.
Not necessarily. I don't think.
No, it is necessary. It's
Yeah, see,
stipulated.
and that's not an important point, is it, Seamus?
Stop.
In
It
hammering
is,
him.
it is a necessity. If it's stipulated in the hypothetical, then it is the case. If you say, no, Colonel Hans Landa, I'm not harboring enemies of the state, he will say, okay, have a nice day, and walk away with his stormtroopers. That is guaranteed to happen if you lie to him.
But he could do that if I tell him the truth also.
No, again, it's stipulated that if you tell him the truth, he's going to come into your house and kill the Jews.
No,
And kill
I
your family
I
and
think
torture.
I think the good news is that that person who was going to kill the Jews could walk away if I killed them.
Not if you say yes.
If you lie to him and you inform him that you do not in fact have enemies of the state, as we've said, it is guaranteed that Colonel Landa and his stormtroopers will walk away and never bother you again. So it seems like in that situation, you get to live, your family gets to live, and the people you're harboring get to live. So why would you not give that answer to him?
Well, I would if he was looking for an enemy of the state, and he could be
Excellent.
an enemy
Okay,
himself.
perfect. Thank you. So you understand that because you just conceded that you would give that answer, you would be lying to Colonel Londa.
No, I would tell him that he could be an enemy of the state as much as the
No,
person
you
he's
can't.
making an
Again,
accusation of.
Mark, listen to me. You can't do that. If you try to argue with him or question him in that way, he's going to come into your house, kill you, and kill the enemies of the state. You cannot do that. You have two possible answers.
Do you think that's going to make him happy?
It doesn't matter. You have two possible answers. Now, it seemed like for a second there you were willing to say you'd say, no, I don't have enemies of the state, which is fantastic. That's what most people would say, but that's also a lie.
No, I would say if he could equally be an enemy of the state, then I could tell the truth and say
It doesn't
yes,
matter.
and he's the enemy.
It doesn't matter. You
Yeah,
have
so
again.
would he have to? But if he would have to bring himself then to the concentration camp if he
None of
is
this
that
matters.
zealous for the
None of
state.
this matters. It's yes or no.
Yeah, so the answer is yes, he's the enemy of the state.
No. The answer is either yes, I have enemies of the state in my household, or no, I don't have enemies of the state in my household. It seemed like you were saying for a second that you would say no. Is that still your answer?
Yeah, there is no enemies of the state in the household.
The enemies of the state are just the people the state declares to be enemies, right? It's kind of a moot point. I'm just asking what you would say to the SS colonel.
Yeah, well, he hasn't entered the enemy of the state hasn't entered the building yet.
It's stipulated. First of all, it's stipulated that you have the people in your house already. You were hiding them from the Nazis because you're a good person. And second, it's stipulated that during this conversation, you're talking directly to an SS officer with like 20 fucking stormtroopers behind him. They're all armed with MP40s, right? They will come in and kill you if you fuck with them.
Yeah, but we have breakfast ready waiting for them.
That doesn't matter. They don't have time for breakfast. They have time for a yes or no answer.
Yeah, it's like offer murder.
Bun, we got this. Bun.
Yeah, please commit the peanut gallery. Mark, yes or no? Do you have enemies of the state? If you give me any other answer, I'm shooting you in the head with my Walther.
Yeah, I mean, if we're at the breakfast table and we've got breakfast waiting, I wouldn't say they're hiding.
Well, all we mean by hiding is that you're keeping them in spite of the orders that were given to you by Adolf Hitler or whoever's in power. Right? Like you not surrendering them to the state of your own volition is hiding them. The fact that they are openly eating breakfast with you doesn't matter at all.
Well, that's why I'm asking what is the enemy of the state? Like what makes...
People you're hiding. An enemy of the state is just somebody the state declares to be an enemy.
Yeah, and in this case, it was someone who was branded.
Sure.
And we agreed that anybody could be branded, so everybody's an enemy of the state.
It's irrelevant.
This is just.
It's just insane. Like you have to, again.
We could modify it.
You have two. Hold on. You have two possible answers. Okay. You say anything other than yes or no, you get killed and your family gets killed, and the Jews get killed. So here's the possibilities. Possibility 1, yes, Colonel Londa, I have enemies of the state, in which case he comes in and takes them, possibly endangering you as well. Option number 2, no, Colonel Londa, I do not have enemies of the state, in which case it is guaranteed that he will believe you, say, have a nice day, and walk away with his stormtroopers.
Yeah,
now,
you're just repeating yourself.
If you have the motivation to protect the Jews, seems like the rational thing to do would be to say no. Would you say no?
No, if he was guaranteed to believe me, I would invite him in for breakfast.
Only if you say no. Oh, no. Only if you say
I
no.
fucking love this guy.
If you say no, he will walk away.
But,
I think we should just
hire. Yeah, I don't know who would hire a person like that because that's not.
Could you just
what I would,
please?
the approach that I would like to take, you're never going to get that answer to your question, but you can change the analogy to highlight his dishonesty. So like we could change the analogy to get away from a lot of these alleged objections. Here, I've got one. let's say that you have a party at your house, Mark. There's 30 people there, okay? Friends, family, etc. Now, let's say some kind of crazy militia gang knocks on your door and they ask you, is your name Mark Thomas? Okay? If you answer your name is Mark Thomas, they kill and torture every single person in your house, including yourself. But if you lie and say your name isn't Mark Thomas, okay, then they just walk away, okay? So are you going to be a non-cognitivist about your name being Mark Thomas now?
I would ask them, like,
yes,
they could choose
Good
a
try,
name for
Seamus.
me.
Yeah, good job.
No, let him. I want to hear the answer.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, mine, I'd be willing to change my name, just, it's not that important to me.
No, but they're asking you the name that you were assigned at birth. They're not asking you with the name that you've changed. So
I was gonna say that Mark Thomas isn't his real name, so I mean, I can like see like 3 steps ahead.
If you said that, that would be a lie, right, Mark?
But are you saying like they have to ask me what my name was at birth?
No. Yeah, that's what they mean when they're asking you what your name is.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's someone else who actually has that name.
So?
I don't know their address, but I think if they head south.
No, it doesn't matter if someone else has that name.
They're asking
if your name is Mark Thomas, right? If you say yes, they kill and torture everyone in your house. You have a 30-person party, all of your favorite friends and family. But if you lie and say your name isn't Mark Thomas, they just walk away. So, and let's just say that they're so mad, they're so crazy of a militia, we'll just add the other stipulations that if you answer anything other than yes or no, they're just going to go in there and kill them anyways. Okay? And so what's your answer, Mark? Because you can't no longer ask the question, what's a Jew or whatever like that? Because, I mean, are you really going to be a non-cognitivist that your name was Mark Thomas at birth? Are you really going to be that dishonest?
No, I believe there is someone else who's called Mark Thomas at birth, and if I could help them find that person, I will.
This guy's fucking amazing.
Name is Mark Thomas.
Why are we continuing this?
Be quiet.
Why does it sound like that?
Yo, pause. Let's ask a simple question, Mark. When you were born, your name, the name that was assigned to you was Mark Thomas, correct? Can you agree to that?
I'm gonna say no.
No, I can't agree to that.
Why?
Yeah, this is the third. I told you.
Yeah, because there's someone else who has the name Mark
We're talking
Thomas.
about you.
When your parents showed up, when the people from the hospital came in with the paper called your birth certificate.
Oh, I've got a better one. Hold on, I've got a better one. Wait, this is. Hold on. We've got it. Hold on. I've got it sealed now. So instead of asking you their name, they ask you, Mark Thomas, is Jesus Lord? Okay, so they ask you that question. Is Jesus Lord? If you say yes, then they kill every single person and torture in your house. But if you deny that Jesus is Lord, then everyone's safe and lives. So what do you say? They say, hey, Mark Thomas, is Jesus Lord?
Lord over what?
Jesus
Your ass.
Christ.
Lord over your ass.
Why are you communist railing this guy so much right now? What happened?
He's an old.
Wait,
he's an old.
Let's change it to does God exist? They say does God exist? If you say yes, everyone dies in your house. If you say no, no one dies. Does God exist?
What's a God?
A lot of them don't exist.
Does Yahweh exist? What if they ask, does Yahweh exist?
Well, what would happen if that were true?
They
I
kill
just told
everyone.
you if you answered that yes, Yahweh exists, they would kill and torture everyone in your house. If you say no, Yahweh doesn't exist, then they would just walk away and never come back. Yeah, but if you answer anything other than those two answers, they just kill and torture everyone in your house anyways. So they ask you, hey, does Yahweh exist, Mark? What's your answer?
Yeah, so if Yahweh existed, they wouldn't be able to do anything to cause lasting harm.
What?
Look, if you say yes, Yahweh exists in response to the guy at your door, he's going to barge into your house, kill you, and kill all of the partygoers. Your best friends, your family, all of them are dead if you say yes. If you give any other response besides yes or no, they'll again come into your house, slaughter everyone. The only way you get this guy to walk away from the door is if you lie and say, no, Yahweh does not exist. Now, what is your response?
Yeah, I would tell him the truth.
So you would say Yahweh exists and have your entire party full of your best friends and family slaughtered.
Well, if Yahweh exists or Jehovah, then nobody could do anything that would cause lasting harm. So if they're going to be resurrected, are they really slaughtered?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if they lived 30 years in this life and were slaughtered, then they lived for 20 million thousand years in the next life without people slaughtering them. Have they really lost?
I just want to get clarification. So, in order to say yes, Yahweh exists, you find the killing of 30 people, your best friends and family, acceptable. You would rather say yes and have them killed than lie and have everyone spared.
Well, if Yahweh did exist, then
just one second, Mark. That's a yes or no question.
So with the answer yes, it would stipulate that the people will be resurrected. They wouldn't actually experience lasting harm.
So yes, you'd be okay with them being slaughtered, and your justification for that is they'll be resurrected anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, like, what would you say slaughtered is?
They're going to be murdered. They will be killed.
Yeah, their life will be taken away from them against their will.
Okay, there's
That's messed up,
super chat
man.
from Tom Rabbit, $2 US. Jehovah doesn't exist.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Murder Buddy. Thank you. All right, fine.
worries.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Mark, do you think somebody having the opportunity to spare those 30 people, but choosing not to, is a morally righteous thing?
Yeah, like so you would probably wonder the people who are doing the slaughtering, are they doing something wicked? But what are they gaining from their wickedness? I mean, are they going to prolong their life?
Look, they're murdering people. They're killing, right? They're not. They literally, if they hear an affirmative answer to that question or a non-answer, they murder your best friends and your family.
Yeah, but if everybody was meant to live forever, is everyone not losing their life at some point? I mean, like all you're saying is these people are going to end your life milliseconds before you're naturally going to die.
Your actions would prematurely end their lives and cause them immense suffering.
I mean, he's just equivocating on milliseconds.
Whenever you say prematurely, like Jehovah offers everlasting life.
I mean,
So
before your average person would die.
Yeah, so like the Bible says like 70 or 80 years is like a good life. So you're saying like they might be killed before they reach that
Sure,
age?
we can stipulate that they're all like 30, 35, which would mean them dying at that age would not be a good life.
Yeah, but when they're resurrected and they're living that 50-fold,
No,
80
no.
the
Look,
40 years
even
they
if
lost is
Mark,
nothing.
even if I was to agree that their deaths would just result in them being granted access to the kingdom of heaven or whatever, it's still the case that your actions would have them die prematurely, which means, according to your own stipulation, they wouldn't have had good lives. In addition to that, they'd be suffering, right? You would have caused them suffering when you could have conceivably prevented that suffering. Now, I'm
Well,
going to
you have to remember.
I'm going to assume, just, one second. Yeah, 1 second. I'm going to assume you think suffering is a bad thing, especially when it's preventable. So you're just saying that you would rather tell the truth than spare these people immense amounts of suffering and spare them a bad life.
Yeah, so going back to, like, you started it by saying if you tell the truth, then they're going to be slaughtered, but if you tell a lie, that they're going to live. But according to your hypothetical, whenever you tell a lie, they might live for 40 years, but whenever I tell the truth, they live forever. So I don't know why you think you're more moral.
That's not even an objection, because even if you lie and they live another 40 years and then die, they'd be that outcome is the same as the outcome of them being murdered, except they live more and presumably meet the threshold for what you consider a good life.
Well, what he's
So
invoking
rationally
there, to be fair, Pogan, what he's invoking there is that he's saying if he lies, right, he'd be denying them everlasting life, right? But if he tells the truth, they would die then, but he would give them everlasting.
Why? Look, if him lying doesn't indict the rest of the party, we're not asking about him, right? We're just asking about the party.
No, the truth is the resurrection hope. So if I told a lie, that's saying that there is no resurrection hope, and all they do is live for maybe 20 years.
That's what he's saying. But he says if he
Oh no,
lies,
well, it's actually wrong. Yeah,
what
if I
he's
told
saying is, yeah, but Pogan, what he's saying is that the morally thing to do, right, is for him to tell the truth, right? Them die then, right? And as they die, Jehovah resurrects them, and they live in a paradise earth forever.
That's what I'm
what he's
saying.
saying.
That would happen.
Right.
The same thing would happen if
No,
they
he's saying
lived
that
another 40
wouldn't.
years.
He said if he lied, it would be a sin, and he wouldn't give them everlasting life.
Yeah, but no, I understand, but he's the one sinning. We're not asking about him. We're asking about the party goers. Why does him lying indict the rest of the?
Well, that's a good point. I don't know how what he's trying to say is that he's saying that it would be a sin for him and a sin for them as well, right? And he would be denying them.
And
Yeah,
what,
I don't think
and
that.
what about
I don't know how he's
this
jumping to that
God?
conclusion.
Is this God going to like really send him to hell because he had to deal with saving his friends?
He
and
doesn't
family's
believe. He doesn't believe. Hey, we need to Aristotelian dude. We don't. He doesn't believe in hell, so that's not a good objection or whatever you want.
Sorry.
May I ask?
Let's bring it back.
I'm sorry. May I ask Mark a quick question? Mark, do you think that you have the right to decide when someone's going to live and die, or die?
No, I can't even turn one of my hairs gray.
Okay, so in answering that, when that person is at the door asking you these questions, you are ultimately deciding whether those people live or die.
No, it's not about me deciding. It's about whether what I say is actually the truth or not.
No, that's
If the
sidestepping.
truth is,
Mark, you're sidestepping again. Look, we're not trying to be unreasonable with you. We're just asking a simple question, okay? You must give one of two responses. You either say no, or you say yes. If you say yes, the entire party dies. If you say no, which I'm sure we agree is a lie, yes, you'd be lying, but the 38 people in your party all get to live. Okay? And if you give anything other than a yes or no response, as we said earlier, that's just going to end up getting everyone killed anyway. So the only way these people come out of the situation alive, is if you tell a lie. So why would you not tell the lie? Now, you gave the reasoning as for some reason you think it's the case that you sinning by lying would deny them access to the kingdom of heaven. It would deny them salvation. But what we're not understanding. I'm almost done.
I don't think.
I'm almost done.
I think you're going
almost
down the wrong line of reasoning. So that's why I was trying to correct you before you, because if the truth is that God doesn't exist, then I've saved their lives. I tell them the truth. And if the truth is that God does exist, then I've given them everlasting life. So telling the truth is the best outcome.
That's what we're not understanding, though. We're not understanding why your lie would indict the other 30 people in the party, because they're not lying, right?
I would just say the truth is the best outcome in either scenario.
That's just demonstrably not true. That's demonstrably not true.
You understand that, Mark? In that respect, you
so
are. No, let me finish. In that respect, you are playing God because you are choosing whether or not another person lives or dies.
No, because if the truth is God does not exist, then what he's saying is that
it doesn't matter. No. Don't do that. Don't go there with me, Mark. It's simple. It is quite simple. If you choose to, quote, tell the truth, which I don't really understand, because does not God forgive you of your sins? So why wouldn't you just absolve yourself later? But regardless, so you are literally holding other lives in your hand, and you are going to be the decision maker as to whether or not they live or die. Therefore, you are playing God.
No, the person who came up with the hypotheticals already decided that by telling the truth, these people are going to live in either scenario, whether God exists or not.
You have it backwards. The only response that would save the lives of these people is a lie, not the truth.
No, if God is real and I told a lie, then they're going to lose out in everlasting life. And if God is not real,
But
and I
that's
tell a lie
okay.
and
But
say
that's
no, we
that's
die
that's
instantly.
that's the issue we're having. We don't understand why you lying would indict the other 30 people in the party. They're not lying.
Right. I'm
They
curious
presumably have they presumably have no knowledge of this conversation even taking place until it's too late. So why would you lying make it the case that they wouldn't be granted access to the kingdom of heaven? They're not
Yeah,
sinning,
Mark.
right? They're not acting
Right.
in any way.
Right, yeah. I'm curious, Mark, like I don't know any passage in Jehovah's Witness doctrine or in any scriptural justification you would have to make that claim. So if you could provide reasoning or scriptural justification for why you think that, that would be great. Because nowhere, I've been a Jehovah's Witness for a long time, and nowhere have I read, has it said anything. If that was the case, Mark, we would all be very fucked up people.
No, I think right, let's look at the scenario where God does not exist. His hypothetical is his
you can't.
hypothetical is saying like, if I lie and say God does
Don't let him
exist.
do it. He's no. You're obfuscating, Mark, which you are quite brilliant at trying to do, but it's not going to work here. Simple fact is that you're asked a question by a man saying whatever. I don't even know what the question was, but your answer is going to decide whether or not other people live. It's not their sin. It will be your lie, your sin. They have no idea what's going on. So again, I'm saying you are the decision maker whether or not they live or die. Now, regardless of the fact that you no, let me finish. Regardless of the fact that you're hinging on the idea that letting them die means they get to go to a better place is really irrelevant at this time because you don't know if those people are ready to die or have a strong enough belief that would get them to wherever it is the fuck you think you're going. So you're playing God. So why
No,
is that?
Mark, I'm curious though. Before you, I'm just curious. Have you read the Bible? I'm curious.
Yeah, in Acts 24:15 it says, and this is what the apostles said, Peter, and he said all the other apostles agreed. He said there's a hope that there's going to be a resurrection of the dead, of the righteous and the unrighteous. So so whenever you're saying that, I mean, my hope would be that whether the people in the house were righteous or unrighteous, they'd be resurrected. If
But you don't know that for sure. You don't know what it is. Maybe they're at a point right now where they're still, undecided or whatnot, and they're still working through those issues. You're literally taking away that opportunity to find God. No,
Well, to be fair to Mark, he did provide scriptural justification, right? And now, since he's providing scriptural justification, we would have to work within his worldview, right? Unless we want to do an external critique, because challenging him on that would just like be begging the question against his own worldview. So I don't want to like be dishonest and do that.
Okay, I agree with that you there, Yuri. But still, we are still going back to the place where Mark is deciding the fate of other people, which I don't think is right. I mean, do you think it's right for someone to decide your fate?
Oh, I think it's preferable. I don't prefer that. It's not cool.
I didn't decide their fate. What I'm saying is
You are given the opportunity to either allow these people to live or to be killed. Now, regardless of the fact that it's another person who's put this task on you and it's given you this responsibility, that doesn't matter. That's all just fucking.
Let's ask him a simple question pertaining to his moral system. Do you think if somebody's death could be prevented, that you should prevent their death, all things considered?
No.
Yeah, I think God went to great lengths to give people a chance to live
It
forever.
doesn't matter what God did.
Molly, hold on. Molly, hold on. Look, so he said yes. Now, this situation involves you doing something against your moral system, right? But by doing that, you prevent something else that's against your moral system from occurring. And I think you'd agree that telling a lie is going to be morally preferable to 30 people dying because of your actions. Now, let's ignore just for a moment that it's a sin. We agree that it's a sin to lie within your system. Why would you not lie in order to prevent a greater evil?
Well, the thing is, you're saying that it's, I'm pretty much taking the course for these people, but I'm not as the person who's given me the choice. So, and no matter what choice I do, they're the ones who are actually going to decide whether these
But
people
that's
live or
not
not.
that's demonstrably false. So one choice, both choices involve sinning, right? One choice invokes the sin of lying. The other choice invokes the sin of getting 30 people killed because of your actions when it was completely preventable. Nobody is disagreeing that within your system lying is bad, right? We're just asking if you think lying and getting 30 people killed are morally equivalent, or even worse, lying is somehow worse. You don't think that, do you? You don't think lying is equivalent or worse than getting 30 people killed because of your actions, correct? Just simple yes or no.
No, I think everybody dies because of a lie.
To be
He's
fair,
he's
guys,
appealing. He's appealing to original sin.
guys, just to be fair, people in the voice chat or text chat are complaining that this is boring. They really
It
want
is
me
boring.
to talk.
It is.
They want me to
Well,
talk.
I mean,
They want me to talk to Mark.
The
Spice it
conclusion
up, man.
The conclusion was reached.
Say this a long fucking time, but no.
Yeah, people want me to have a conversation with Mark because obviously I'm a Jehovah's
All right,
Witness. And
go ahead, Yuri.
yeah, I'm just saying. Sorry, I mean I don't care, but Mark, hey, what's up?
The
You
sun.
know that.
What the fuck?
Jesus Christ, Yuri. What a
Dude,
blood!
When you said you want to have another conversation with him, you like took that literally, didn't you? So where you guys are like restarting the conversation over or something?
No.
What up, man?
No, I'm just saying, Mark. You do remember I used to be a Jehovah's Witness? You remember me?
I remember you saying you studied, but you told me you were never baptized.
Oh, I was unbaptized public.
Neither were you either, Mark.
Nice.
I was raised in the truth, but I never got baptized. I became an atheist at the age of 14 or 15.
Oh.
Well, would you not have always been an atheist?
No, I wasn't always an atheist. I really did believe the stuff that the Jehovah's Witness taught me, and I was going to get baptized until I changed my.
Okay,
Yeah,
we have a
but when
super
it talks
chat from
about-
Shy. Big
The-
boy Yuri here saved the day. Get them, kiddo.
Thank you, Char. And
Thank
Bon.
you, Charles.
Very
you.
good.
Thank you, Bon.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ, I just had my headset off and laying on my desk and I heard Bun from across the room.
Like, this is the new reality, boys. You better get used to it. Sorry. Go ahead, Yuri.
Yeah, so Mark, I'm just curious, man. Yeah, Mark, you were actually going to ask me something. I'll let you. Were you going to?
For me, whenever I speak about belief in something, it means I'm convicted, so it's based on evidence. So, like, I believe that Jehovah exists based on evidence. I used to be an atheist, and
No, I'm familiar with that. I know you were.
atheism is based on a lack of evidence. So, I don't think you could have believed and then all of a sudden lacked it. That doesn't make sense. It's like you can't have an abundance of something and then lack it.
You can. Well, you agree, Mark, that you can have false beliefs, right? So let's say, just before you respond to that, imagine if I believed in unicorns, right? And I thought that there was certain evidence. There was evidence out there that led me to believe in the existence of unicorns, right? Hold on, real quick.
What?
Does he believe in unicorns now?
He's going to get his unicorn book.
He's gonna go get his evidence.
This is the new reality.
Got to get the book of unicorns.
No, I'm sorry. I had someone was calling me. I'm sorry about that. But no, I don't believe in unicorns. What I was saying was, imagine if I did believe in unicorns, right? And I thought that this belief was true because I thought there were certain evidences that existed, right? that demonstrated the existence of unicorns, right? Now,
So, like an animal with a single horn?
right? We obviously know that unicorns don't exist, right? But you would agree, right, that I believed in unicorns, or my belief in unicorns, right, was a false belief.
Well, unicorns do exist.
Oh my
I'm
god.
talking about unicorns, the magical fairy, pooping rainbow beast with like sparkly hair and comes on at TV.
Yeah, but I could give you evidence that single-horned animals do exist.
Well,
But
that's
you're
what we're
saying that wouldn't
talking about.
convince them.
You're just equivocating in what I mean by unicorn. You're just
Yeah,
equivocating. I'm not talking about rhinoceroses and stuff like that. I'm talking about a magical beast by definition, right?
yeah, well,
So if you don't
they're
like the word
called
unicorn, if you
omnisauruses
don't like the word
because they have one
unicorn,
horn.
if you don't like the word unicorn, we can just call it a magical beast, right? So if I have evidence that a magical beast exists, right, and I believe that evidence comports, right, with that magical beast, right? Wouldn't you agree that I had a false belief because obviously that magical beast doesn't exist?
Well, I mean, you thought unicorns didn't exist, and then when I gave you evidence, you rejected it. But yeah, I mean, if you were able to give me evidence for whatever you believe in, then I would. I'd say the wise course would be to, acquire wisdom and
Right.
understanding.
Right. Okay, I'll grant that. Right. Now, the next question I have for you is that what evidence convinced you that Jehovah exists? Well, your particular well, one, that Jehovah exists, right? And two, your particular denomination, right? And three, that your particular denomination and religion is true versus all the other religions and denominations that profess the one true God or multiple true gods or whatever, right? So go ahead.
Yeah, well, of all the different religions, there's only 10 major religions, and they all sort of stem from Babylon. But the Bible is the only book that gives the explanation why all these other religions exist, and it's to do with the Tower of Babel. And so all these other religions share things in common. They all share a tormenting hell. A lot of them share things like trinities. So the question is, what happens when we die? And I don't know if I
Yeah,
need to
but the
convince you or
question
not,
is,
but
why do you, what evidence have you seen that convinces you that your belief system is true and that Jehovah?
Yeah, so all these other religions you're referring to, they all teach in some shape or form an immortal soul. But the
That's
Bible
not
teaches
gonna.
the Bible
That's just
teaches that.
begging the question. That's just begging the question. Right? I want a non-question begging.
Yeah, well, the Bible teaches that when we die, we
That's
simply cease
question
to.
begging. When you appeal to the Bible to justify your beliefs, that's going to be
Oh,
question.
okay, well, I believe that when you die, you cease to exist, and the Bible confirms this. And all the other
Yeah, that's
major
question
religions
begging.
say that
You
you have an
can't
immortal
appeal to the
soul.
Bible. You can't appeal to the Bible, Mark. You're going to have to appeal to external evidence, right? Independent of the Bible. So I want to know what that evidence is, not you justifying it for scripture of the Bible, right? No one here is interested in that, right? If you're going to keep presenting that, you can just leave and go home. We're interested in the evidence that convinces you that your religion is true, not the Bible, not anything like that. So stop begging the question.
Yeah, so whenever I think about how I'm created, at one point I didn't exist, and then I came into existence. But how I came into existence is awe-inspiring. I started off as a single cell, and that cell formed into other cells, and they formed all sorts of different organs and blood cells. And I don't even have to think about blinking while I talk to you. But
Yeah, but that's just going to be irrelevant, right? Now now you coming into existence, right? You think that confirms, right, the existence of God, right, or your particular religion, right? But why wouldn't that be compatible with like Islam or something like that, who says that that beliefs that their God is the reason why they came into existence, right? Why wouldn't? How do you justify that?
yeah, well, Islam, that's why I said there's major religions, but Islam's actually, they believe, when Jesus said, there's one God, Jehovah, Islam actually believe what Jesus said. They believe there is one God, Jehovah.
That's just irrelevant.
So, well, I'm just saying that it wouldn't be, them believing that there is one true God isn't false in itself.
Yeah, but there. Look, okay, fine. If you want to do that, look, Hinduism, right? Hinduism says that the reason why they came into existence, right, is because of like Brahma or something like that, right? And then through other avatars and through other gods, right? Now, why wouldn't Hinduism, right? How wouldn't your evidence that you presented also be evidence for like Hinduism, right?
Yeah, so Hinduism does believe that there is one true God, but they don't give that God any attention. They don't know very much
That's just
about it.
irrelevant.
But
That's just going to
but they
beg,
do have like
and that reasoning, right, is going to beg the question, right, against the Hindus' worldview, right? But we're not interested in that, right? I'm just asking you why you thinking you came into existence, right? Wouldn't be also compatible, right, with a Hinduism as a religion, right? And you haven't demonstrated why that would be the case, because I can conceive of many different religions, right, or many different beliefs or ideologies, right, that profess to
God damn it.
know what.
Stop saying right, please.
Oh, sorry. To know the existence. To know the existence, know the reason why they came into existence, right? So I'm just asking, why we should
well,
accept.
the Hindus don't know why they came into existence. They think they constantly get reborn.
Yeah, they
And
do know.
they
They
go
do know
through different
why. But that's
periods.
just irrelevant, right? I know Hinduism better than you, right? And they do claim to know why they came into existence, right? So we're just going to grant that for sake of argument, right? And I'm just asking you why the piece of evidence you provided for Jehovah's Witness belief, right, wouldn't also be compatible with Hinduism, right? And the reason why I'm asking this question, right, because we can find out different reasons, right, for why the piece of evidence that you presented would be compatible with various different theses, right? We can't make any predictions off of that. So if we can't
Yeah,
make
but
if we can't make any predictions off of that, then what you provided as quote unquote evidence wouldn't exactly be evidence because it's not increasing the probability of anything.
Yeah, well, that's whenever there's a court case and you're trying to convict someone, it's not based on one piece of evidence. There's usually multiple
Yeah,
pieces of
exactly. No
evidence.
shit, Shirley.
Yeah, so it would be multiple pieces of evidence.
We're going one at a time. I asked you for evidence, and now we're working with the evidence that you presented me. So what you just presented as the court case thing would be disanalogous. So try again. If you're not happy with the evidence you presented, right, because you realize the evidence you presented didn't get you anywhere, then I recommend you provide different evidence.
Yeah, well, the first piece of evidence I presented was that every house is constructed. And
Yeah.
I think we'd both agree on that. And I'd say that,
Yeah,
us
sure.
beings were constructed. So we know that there's going to be, there is a God that
Right,
he
but I want to
constructs all things.
know. I know the argument. I don't need it explained, right? I understand the argument. I'm just
Yeah.
asking you, right? Since you're just saying that we needed a creator, all it's going to boil down to is that we need a creator in order for us to be here, right? And I'm granting that for the sake of argument. I'm just asking you why that piece of evidence, right, or quote unquote what you call evidence, right, wouldn't be compatible with like a different religion who professes to claim that there's some creator being out there or some God that caused them to be in existence, right? And I'm saying that the evidence wouldn't
Yeah,
exactly be evidence, right, if it's compatible with different theses and competing contradictory theses or theories for how we got here. Okay?
Yeah, one of the things the Bible encourages is it says, keep on acquiring wisdom and understanding. It doesn't say, like, get
That's
one
just
piece of
begging
evidence
the
and
question.
stop.
That I already told you I don't
Well,
want to hear the Bible because the Bible is just going to beg the question, right, against what I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah, so the other piece of evidence is what happens when we die. So you said, how do I differentiate between what I believe and how Hinduism, whether it's true or false? But Hinduism teaches that there's continuous cycles of life, and there is no evidence of that. So you would
Lack
remove
of
that.
evidence is not the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
Well, not only that, there is evidence that when we die, we cease to exist. So that would actually falsify Hinduism.
Yeah, but that would just look I don't agree with what they're saying either, nor do I agree with what you're saying, right? But you to critique their worldview like that, right? With reasoning like that, it's just going to beg the question against their worldview, right? And we don't want to do that. So that's why I'm asking you for external evidence, right? Independent of any scripture, any book, or anything that a certain religion believes, right? I want this to be independent evidence that shows definitively why your religion and why your God exists and why it's true. Okay, so go ahead. We haven't heard any evidence. So go ahead.
Yeah, so if you had a car and it was I don't know where you live, but let's say it was a Mercedes.
Okay.
And you need to repair that Mercedes. Now, if you pick up a book and that book is for a different brand of car, let's say it's for Ferrari, you're not going to repair the Mercedes with the Ferrari manual. So whenever you're saying we can't use the book, you actually need to use the book to know whether it can repair the car or not. So I would say that you'd actually be omitting evidence, and that probably is why you lost faith, because you're
Yeah,
omitting.
I don't see how that analogy helps us at all. We just want to know what evidence you
Well-
have that's external to the Bible and Scripture that shows why God exists.
Well, if we're trying to prove which manual fixes the Mercedes, then you need to get the manuals out. Would that not
The
be true?
manuals aren't going to do anything. It's just going to beg the question.
Yeah, but if you get a Mercedes manual and it fixes the car, would that not make the manual true?
Yeah, but that's just presupposing. Look, the analogy will only work if God existed, right? And then we were trying to figure out what manual, right, was for that God, or which God wrote that manual. But we already knew that there was a God, right? We were just trying to figure out what manual comported with that God. That would be different, right? But we don't even know whether or not a God exists, right? And you're claiming that there's evidence for this being, right? So appealing to a certain manual or book would just beg the question, right? So we're not interested in that. We're just interested in you providing external evidence.
Well, I believe that, even like things like Mercedes are constructed as well. Like I don't believe they come about by chance and someone writes the manual. I believe that someone makes the manual while they're building them.
Mark, turn your vibrate off.
But yeah, I would say that I wouldn't say that Mercedes just come about by chance.
What? Mercedes come about by chance?
Yeah, I believe they. I
no,
believe
Mark,
Mercedes are
Mark, what if the
constructed.
person who wrote the manual for Mercedes had never actually seen one or worked on one? He was just going by what other people told him.
Like a messenger?
Sure.
Yeah, I believe that people can send messages. I think God uses people to send messages all the time.
So, but do you not think that there's a chance of misinterpreting things or not getting things written down correctly, making errors and such?
Well, I don't want to get into that. That's going to go down a rabbit hole. I'm not ready to go
One
down.
of the
I
messages
just
that
wanted to
God.
answer my question.
Yeah, well, one of the messages that God asked was, He said He wants this good news to be preached to the entire inhabited earth before the end comes. And so I would actually say that's another piece of evidence.
How do you know? How do you know that God asked you to do?
Yuri, you better put this dog down, or I'm gonna have to do it for you.
Okay. Oh yeah. How do you know that God? Sorry. How do you know that God told you to do that?
He had it written down the same way someone said,
How do you know he had it
that-"
written down? How do you know he had it written down?
Yeah, because the Bible makes a bold claim. It says that it's inspired by God. So if it's false, then the whole Bible falls apart. But if it's true,
Look. How do we determine? Look. How do we distinguish whether or not the Bible was written right by by supernatural being like God, right, versus like some very intelligent men? How do we go about distinguishing that?
well, some people have tried to prove that the Bible was like written by intelligent men, but
That doesn't
they
answer my
concluded
question.
that for people to come up with it, they would have to be like God in order to come up with it. Like they'd have to be able to make prophecies come true. But I don't think men make prophecies come true.
Look,
So
how would
wouldn't
they
they just
determine?
have
Wait,
to
wait,
read
hold
the
on,
Old
hold on, hold on. I don't want that interrupted, right? How would they determine that, right, if they've never had an experience with a God to begin with, right? They would have to have experience with a God in order to make that claim. So how did they come about having that experience?
Yeah, the Bible tells us. It says God spoke
That's
to
just
some
begging
people
the
where.
question.
Yeah, but even today, I mean, I don't think it's impossible for us to communicate with like a telephone, and I don't think it's impossible for God to
That's
communicate
just
with a creation.
irrelevant. That's just irrelevant to what I asked you. I already told you that it was begging the question, right? But you haven't addressed that. Look, this is you can solve all of this, and I don't have to keep repeating myself. Look, we don't have to keep repeating ourselves, right? If you can provide external evidence independent of the Bible, right, and independent of any scripture or any personal or any natural revelation, right? We don't have to keep repeating ourselves, Mark. You're the only one making this
Yeah,
up.
So what I would say is like at some point in time, people could only communicate in short distances with their voice, and then they could communicate in slow fashions with writing and delivery messengers. But today we can communicate over fast different distances. We can talk to people who are on the moon. So for you to say that God can't communicate with us, I think that would be. I mean, you're pretty much saying that people shouldn't have even strove to try and create something like the telephone, which we're
I
probably
didn't make that
using.
claim. I didn't make that claim, right? I just asked you for independent evidence, right?
Yeah,
That
but
affirms the existence of God and not the Bible, right? Because we don't know. Look, we don't know whether or not God is communicating with anyone at all, right? Since you haven't provided the evidence to show anything, right? So,
Okay.
like your analogies about car manuals and everything like that presuppose that there's a God to begin with, right? But look, we don't know whether or not there's a God, right? And you claim that there's evidence for this being. I'm just asking what that evidence is, right? In order for it to be evidence, it would have to be independent of the thesis, right? And the thesis would be things like revelation. So that would be like scriptural revelation, which would be the Bible, you know, whatever, revelation in general, right? I'm just asking you to provide that evidence, right? And you haven't done that. And you're just making this harder on yourself, right? You don't have
Yeah,
to keep
but
making this hard on yourself.
no, the Bible is full of abundance of evidence. So it talks about things that were going to happen in the future, and some of those things have already came true, and they're in the past now. But there's things which are being foretold, and you can actually see them that in action today. So yeah, it would be evidence.
Look, and that's what that was you already presented this, and I already asked you this. How do we determine, or how do we distinguish, right? Revelation. How do we distinguish whether or not the Bible was written or these prophecies were given by some supernatural being, right? Or whether or not they were given by some intelligent men who happen to be.
Yeah, well, the Bible
You haven't
answers that
presented. You
question.
haven't presented the mechanism in which what mechanism we would use, right, in order to determine or distinguish.
Yeah, well, you have to determine can mankind prophesy?
Well, I'm not.
Like,
That's just burden shifting. That's just burden shifting, right? I'm not making that claim. You're the one who made the claim and asking for the
oh
justification.
yeah, no, I'm saying the Bible's the inspired word of God, and you're saying, well, how can we determine whether men wrote it or not? And I'm saying, well, for men to have written the Bible, they'd have to have had the ability to prophesy.
Why?
They would have to be able to
Why?
go back and. Well,
Why?
the Bible speaks about the past, which
That's
is
just begging the
scientifically true.
question. Look, that's just begging the
And
question. Stop giving question begging answers. It's just going to beg the question.
I'd like to know what prophecies came true.
Oh,
Guys, I'm gonna go to bed now because I'm gonna fall asleep.
I don't think
Okay.
Jesus fulfilled any prophecy at all.
Good night.
Good night, Bun. Thanks.
Yeah,
Mm.
Floyd. Yeah, Floyd. I can go. I'm pretty knowledgeable on the prophecy stuff. I was going to go down that direction too, but I was just trying to focus on the basic logic with him. But if you want to engage with him in the theology and stuff like that, and whether or not those were actual prophecies, then you can go ahead and do that. I'm done.
I mean, the biggest problem is the biggest prophecy the New Testament makes that Jesus would return in the lifetime of the New Testament writers failed. So that alone falsifies Christianity.
where does it say that?
All through the New Testament, from the Gospels all the way to the second to last verse in the Book of Revelation. In fact, I had a full presentation on that. I had a debate with G-Man. I gave a full PowerPoint presentation on it.
But it says Jesus is going to return during the time with the disciples.
Yes.
Is that what you were saying? The Bible claims.
Right. Right. Their return in the lifetime, in the generation of the New Testament writers. A lot of verses that we're in the last hour now.
I tell you
returning
now that
soon.
He
said the high priest would witness the Son of Man coming from the clouds of heaven.
He said, "I tell you now, this generation will not pass away until these things are fulfilled." I believe it was it might have been, wasn't the Sermon on the Mount. It's when Christ was talking about the invasion of the Roman Empire. He was prophesying the invasion of the Roman Empire to Jews in 70.
Yeah, it's a little apocalypse in the Gospel of Matthew.
Yeah, that came true. Like Jesus said that the Roman Empire would someone's going to attack, and he said, but it's going to be cut short, and whenever it's cut short, you need to escape. But whenever the Roman Empire surrounded Jerusalem, people got afraid, but for no reason that the soldiers pulled away, and the people who listened to Jesus left the city, but the people who didn't believe in Jesus, they stayed behind, and they thought they were victorious, but the Romans came back and slaughtered them. That all came true, and it was like to the day.
Well, no, Jesus just gives a warning for people to head for the hills, basically, when they see the Roman army coming.
Yeah, and then the ones who
there's nothing about whether that actually happened or not.
No, it is recorded in history that the Romans surrounded Jerusalem, and then they pulled away for no reason, and then they came back and surrounded them a second time. And the second time, Jerusalem was destroyed.
The fighters in Jerusalem were making them fight from house to fucking house, and the Romans weren't set up like that. Roman tactics are meant to they base their tactics to defeat armies like the Greeks. They weren't any good fighting fucking house to house. So the first time they tried it, the fucking Jewish zealots slaughtered the fuck out of them. And then when they came back, by the time they'd come back, the Romans basically wipe out just about anything that moved in Jerusalem. But the problem is that's not the first time they put down an uprising in Jerusalem. Part of the problem was that the whole fucking province, including Jerusalem, was a hotbed. Every time the Romans turned around, the fucking Jerusalem was in fucking arms and killing Romans in the fucking streets. So which time are you talking about, Mark?
Yeah, Jesus said that when a sign is that they'll be surrounded, but he said it's going to be cut short for the Holy One. So he was talking about the people who follow him are going to leave Jerusalem. He said whenever it gets cut short, that's the time you have to flee for the mountains.
Oh, Lord.
The ones that were obedient to Christ, they fled the city, even though there was no army there, and they survived.
Nonsense.
But the ones that weren't obedient remained in the city, and the army came back. But yeah, Jesus was able to pinpoint, when that was going to happen. So that was a pretty awesome prophecy. If you ever want to look into it.
Because you haven't been able to pinpoint it.
There's actually a Jesus Ben Ananias, which is recorded in Josephus, who predicted the destruction of the temple. So there's actually another Jesus that actually made that prediction, as recorded in Josephus.
Not that I trust fucking Josephus as far as I would throw him, but that's another matter entirely.
I've had these long theological, Molly can tell you this too, I've had these long theological conversations with Mark, but I've even given him like scholarly sources like for what you guys were talking about, and he just like doesn't listen. It just like goes nowhere with him.
Yeah, but Jesus, that's all in Matthew 24. So it's in verse 22. It says, "Unless those days were cut short, no flesh would be saved." So he's talking about God's chosen ones, because afterwards he says, "But on account of the chosen ones, they will be cut short," and that's what happened.
Mark, what's going on with you, buddy? Where are you? Are you in Texas still?
Yeah, I'm on Texas soil.
He's all in Texas.
Are you in the state of Texas?
Yeah, well, that's what I think. Embassies, like American embassies, that even though they're in different countries, they're still they would still say they're.
There
under
is
that
no
country's
Texas
rule.
embassy.
Yeah, so I would be
like that, dude.
Yeah, there's no.
I could just tell by the way he answered it, he was trying to fucking lie.
Oh, you're in the Texas embassy in Scotland, huh?
Mark, well, the last time I spoke to you, that was in Darth's server, you made the error of saying, I have to go to bed now, and you gave the time, and it was actually the same time I had in California.
How did I know you're in California?
But that's irrelevant. What I'm saying is that the time that you gave was the same time in California when you were trying to say you were in Ireland.
She's saying that your dumbass didn't calculate the time. I mean, you gave her like mountain time instead of like central time.
Are you in Ireland or not?
I'm not in California.
Are you in Ireland or not?
Not at the minute.
You're in Texas?
Yeah, I'm on Texas soil.
Are you in Texas? Yes or no?
Like Texas, the state.
Do you know what Texas is, Mark? What?
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. Wait, hold on. Mark, I live in Texas, right? And I actually go to a congregation in Texas, right?
Oh,
So
fuck.
I'm just curious, Mark. What congregation do you go? I know like a lot of congregations in Texas, a fuck ton of them. So what congregation do you go to?
Well, that's what I was interested with you. Like, do you ever go back to them?
He
That
still
doesn't
goes
answer
to
my
him.
question.
Oh, do you still go to them? Do you still attend
Yeah,
them?
I'm 17. I live with my parents. They don't know about my atheism.
Why not?
I don't want to lose my family over like stupid beliefs.
Yeah, he actually doesn't want
Well, you
that.
said you weren't baptized, so you wouldn't lose your
Yeah,
family.
Well, that's
I'm considered an unbaptized public.
well, Yuri, that's an interesting thing that you say because Mark chose to lose his family over Jehovah.
You lost his daughter, yeah. You lost your wife, your daughter. Your wife cheated on you because you didn't know how to maintain.
But I mean, but your family wouldn't. I mean, if you haven't been baptized yet, I don't know why you think they would
Well,
disown you.
I know I'm not going to get disfellowshipped, right? But there's going to be a still, even when you're an unbaptized publisher, right, and you leave the congregation, there's going to be a certain narrative about you that's going to be unpleasant, right? And so you're not going to be shunned, right? But you're going to be classified as not good association, right? Or not really spiritually strong. And so people are not going to be readily open to like talk to you or like associate with you, right? And so your parents may even have the stigma about you, especially if you have younger siblings, right? They may not want you to really talk to your younger siblings, and they may not treat you the same way because you really don't attend meetings anymore, right? So yeah, that's certain things you have to consider.
Yeah, but I mean, would they not? I mean, if someone was sick, would they not help the sick person?
Look, I asked you what congregation dude. I asked you
Well,
what congregation you went to in Texas.
Yeah, but no, the reason why I'm saying is if you went to them and told them, I mean, a lack of faith is a sickness. So I don't know why you think they would. The only reason why they would probably like not help you is if you actually had faith
Dude,
and you're being
I'm not
a
denying that they
apostate.
won't try to help me. I'm just saying the way they go about not helping me is, I don't think, good. I think it's very cult-like, and I think that is going to be some minor form of shunning, right, or lack of association they're going to do with me if I don't
No,
attend meetings.
I
I'll
think
tell them I'm an atheist, right?
no, I think you'd be surprised because I think the last thing they want to do is, I mean, if you're an atheist, you're already hurting. You know what I mean? It's like the earth,
I'm not hurting.
your life is futile.
I'm not
So
hurting.
they wouldn't want you to go through that pain.
Look, Mark, you're not telling me anything I don't know. I already agreed with that, right? I just said the way they're going to approach that, it's going to be different, right? They're not going to really, they're not going to be,
Yeah,
they're not
but
going to view me
anything's
the
better
same way.
than.
They're not going to view me the same way because they're going to stamp me with the label of like heathen or atheist, right? And so
No,
that's not.
I think if you think of your choice, you've got the choice going down a path of futility, and no one likes to push buttons for no reason for the rest of their life. So you're going down that path of futility, then
Yeah, but that's just going to be
I don't see why you
irrelevant.
think
I don't
anything
know
could be
what that
worse
has to
than
do with
that.
anything. I don't know what it has to do with anything, Mark. And plus, I don't know why you're even asking me this because I asked you a question, right? But you tried to obfuscate and not answer. So
No, I'm more. I'm more concerned.
Calm down. I asked you what congregation you went to, and you haven't
Yeah.
answered. You haven't answered Tom's. You haven't answered neither Tom or I or Tom's question. There we go. No, Tom
Yeah,
or I. You haven't answered Tom or I's question. There we go. That's what you said.
Yeah, well, if I tell you the congregation I'm going to, that will reveal what country I'm in.
What?
If I say the congregation that I'm attending, that would reveal what country I'm in.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. We're asking you if you live in Texas or not.
Mark, we already know that you're still in the United States, you fucking muppet.
Yeah, we're just asking you to show that you're dishonest. We're asking you what congregation you go to, and you saying, especially the way Jehovah's Witnesses do things, right? You wouldn't be doxing yourself, right? Like some people want to portray it. When you give out the congregation you go to, you want me to give out the congregation I go to? I go to the Frisco East congregation. There we go. I go to the Frisco East congregation. You can look it up on Google. That's the congregation I go to. Now, Marcus, your turn, right, to tell me what congregation you go to.
I go to Frisco too.
This
What?
fucking guy.
You go to Frisco congregation?
Yeah.
What are some of the elders at Frisco congregation? Who are the elders?
Yeah, you just missed him, Yuri.
Can you list the elders in the ministerial service?
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Mark, did you lie?
Oh no.
Yuri, he was there the whole time. You just missed him, bud.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, I think I clicked mute by accident. But what was the last thing you heard? What was the last thing I said?
You said I go to Frisco.
You said you go to Frisco, and I asked you if you could list the elders and the ministerial servants who are at that congregation, the Frisco East congregation.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, name them. Name one.
Well, there's a difference between like whether I could and whether I would.
Yeah, I'm asking you to name one, so there should be no confusion. That's what it means when I ask you something. When I ask you something specific,
Yeah.
I expect it specific.
Yeah. So if you said would I, the answer would be no.
Yeah, I'm asking you to name one. Not if you can name one. Name one.
Yeah, no, if you said, can you name one, the answer is yes. But if you said, would I name one, the answer is no.
I asked you to name one. Give a name.
He's saying no.
You can't give a name?
Yeah,
No, he's saying he won't give a name.
Oh, you won't give a name. Okay. Why not?
The same reason if someone asked me to give your name, I wouldn't do that. Because I love you.
I love you too.
I love you.
You can't give a first name. You can't give a first name.
Mark?
Shut the fuck up, Mark. You know I'm gonna go off on you in a moment.
Dude, wouldn't it be
You know,
crazy if Mark was the part of Yuri's congregation?
Well, just look for a big red-headed muppet walking around.
I don't see a lot of those at my congregation.
But I actually do have to go here. Someone's been trying to call me for a while now. And
Yeah.
I need to get back to him.
Well, you have an amazing way to lie, but you won't save a life. But you'll save your own ass. Bye.
Mark, when's the last time you've seen your family? Like your wife and daughter, or your ex-wife and daughter?
I've seen them in the last 10 years.
Have you seen them in the last month?
Yeah, I've seen them with my eyes.
Oh, so that just means on a computer or something, like pictures. Right.
I do have to go here.
I know what you're doing,
But it
Mark.
was nice talking to you.
Yeah. Okay, Mark.
Alright, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, hail Satan. Completely worthless.
One of the most dishonest people I've
Yeah,
ever
he
heard.
is perhaps the most dishonest person on Discord.
How long did we spend asking the same question about the Nazis without getting an answer?
I should have. I messed up at the
Yeah,
end.
Yeah, Yuri, I go to Frisco as well. Don't worry about it.
Just like I can't give the first name of you because I love you.
Would I give a name of somebody there? Well, I could, but I won't. Sorry, Yuri.
Yeah, I messed up. What I should have. This is what I should have done, right? And so, I was actually thinking to do this, but I second guessed myself because I didn't. I underestimated Mark's abilities, right? But what I should have done, because I was thinking about giving a name of like an old congregation I went to or something like that, but I decided to just be honest and give him that one I actually go to, right? To demonstrate, because I was to demonstrate that doesn't actually dox me, right? The way Jehovah's Witness thing is set up, right? But I ended up giving him my real one, and that gave him like a scapegoat, to say I attend that one too, right? But
what happened?
What did you say something to me? Sorry.
What? Charlie, you're hot micing.
What I miss?
What up, Landon Blood?
Hey, buddy.
Well, it's good to see that he's still the same fucking lying, obfuscating muppet that he's always been. No change in that whatsoever.
Oh, I see what I walked into. Alright, I'm just gonna step away.
No, don't step away, Landon. Come. No, we were talking about this. You just
Yeah,
missed
it's
it,
over.
Landon.
There's nothing. Yeah.
Landon, it was so cool. We wish you were here, man. Dude, there was this. I don't know if you met this guy, but his name is Mark Thomas. And he's a Jehovah's Witness, just like me. You missed it. We just had a debate with him until he got a phone call and he had to go, man.
Oh no.
It was actually a really good conversation. Yeah, it was no. It was a really good conversation. I wish you would have heard it because I was actually debating him on Jehovah's Witness stuff.
Shout out to Dionysus, who I can see from my feed was a recent subscriber. Welcome, Dionysus. You're probably listening.
We love you, Dio. We all miss you.
We love you, Dio, man. Congrats on that school. We're all wage slaves.
Well, about that, Yuri, that video was removed.
You downloaded it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Gotcha. Cool.
But usually, I mean, I'm guessing that it was removed because, well,
that address.
No, I mean, well, that might be part of it. Yeah, who knows? But I think he said, I think I got a job in Florida, so.
Oh shit.
He might not have actually gotten it. So.
Oh my god.
Rip.
They probably did a background check.
Well, that happens all the time, right? Where it's like
Oh, we
if you
don't
think you're
hire
acing the
stalkers.
interview, but then you just don't get it.
No, they did a background check, and it's going to go across whether he changed his name or not. It's not going to hide the fact that he was charged with those given those charges and stuff, and they're not going to want him. Dio needs to realize he is never going to be a teacher again, not ever.
I mean, America is his best bet for it.
Tom, if I had a screenshot of somebody advocating violence against Jews in a DM, and they were a server member, would that be actionable or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, maybe. Depends. I actually don't even want to know about it.
Do you mind if I post the screenshot in general? I don't
Yes.
have to. Okay. Could I DM it to you?
I don't want to deal.
Okay, all good.
If you wanted to like complain something like that, you would have to go like to Discord.
It's probably what I'll do.
I can't please.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Last thing I remember, guys, I keep falling asleep. I remember Shamos saying Landon, and that's all I remember. Was he talking shit about me?
It's just a bad dream.
Alright. But Yuri, I'll check that out tomorrow. Sounds like it'd be pretty cool.
By the way, Landon, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. How you doing, Yuri?
I'm doing good. It's just that you sound a bit down and everything, so I just wanted to make sure you're.
I just woke up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Got an auction to go to tomorrow.
I think I might go to the gym.